The Roman Empire stands as one of the most awe-inspiring achievements in the history of human civilization. From its humble beginnings as a small settlement on the Italian peninsula to its transformation into an empire that ruled vast swaths of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, Rome's story is one of resilience, ingenuity, and ambition. For over a millennium, it shaped the political, cultural, and economic landscape of the ancient world and laid the foundations for modern Western society. Rome's unparalleled expansion, sophisticated governance, and enduring cultural legacy remain a source of fascination, while the story of its decline is a sobering reminder of the fragility of even the mightiest empires. Understanding the rise and fall of the Roman Empire is not merely an exercise in historical curiosity. It offers timeless lessons about power, leadership, and the vulnerabilities of complex systems. Rome's origins were modest, dating back to around 753 BCE, when legend credits Romulus and Remus with its founding. In its early days, Rome was ruled by kings, but in 509 BCE, the monarchy was overthrown, and the Roman Republic was born. The Republic was a unique system of governance, balancing power among the Senate, elected magistrates, and popular assemblies. This structure, though not without flaws, allowed for a remarkable degree of flexibility and adaptability, enabling Rome to thrive in the competitive and often chaotic environment of the ancient Mediterranean. Early Roman society was defined by a culture of discipline, civic duty, and a strong sense of collective identity. These values underpinned Rome's military and political successes as it began to expand beyond its borders. The expansion of Rome was driven by a combination of military might, political strategy, and cultural integration. The Roman legions, disciplined and well-trained, were the most effective fighting force of the ancient world. They were not only skilled in open combat, but also adept at building fortifications, roads, and siege engines, allowing them to maintain control over conquered territories. Rome's approach to governance was equally innovative. Conquered peoples were often granted varying degrees of autonomy and, in some cases, Roman citizenship. This policy of inclusion fostered loyalty and reduced resistance, transforming Rome's conquests into stable, productive provinces. Infrastructure projects, such as roads, aqueducts, and public buildings, further unified the empire and facilitated trade, communication, and cultural exchange. Rome's golden age came with the transition from republic to empire, a process marked by internal conflict and power struggles. By the late Republic, the strain of governing an ever-expanding territory had led to political corruption and instability. Figures like Julius Caesar emerged as both the products and drivers of this turbulence. Caesar's military conquests, particularly in Gaul, demonstrated the extraordinary power of the Roman legions and his own strategic brilliance. However, his accumulation of power ultimately led to his assassination in 44 BCE, plunging Rome into civil war. Out of this chaos rose Augustus Caesar, who, in 27 BCE, established himself as the first emperor of Rome. Augustus's reign marked the beginning of the Pax Romana, Roman peace, a period of relative stability and prosperity that lasted over 2 centuries. During the Pax Romana, Rome reached the pinnacle of its power. The empire stretched from the Atlantic Ocean in the west to the Euphrates River in the east, encompassing a population of over 70 million people. This period saw remarkable achievements in architecture, engineering, and the arts. Roman engineers constructed aqueducts that supplied cities with fresh water, roads that connected distant provinces, and monumental structures like the Colosseum and the Pantheon that symbolized Rome's grandeur. Roman law became one of the empire's most enduring legacies, establishing principles such as the presumption of innocence and equality before the law. The economy flourished, with goods and ideas flowing freely across the empire's vast trade networks. Despite its achievements, the Roman Empire was not immune to internal weaknesses and external pressures. The very factors that had enabled its rise, vast territory, complex bureaucracy, and a powerful military, became liabilities as the empire grew too large to manage effectively. Corruption and inefficiency crept into the political system, and the transition of power between emperors was often marked by violence and intrigue. The economy also began to falter. Heavy taxation to fund the military and bureaucracy placed an enormous burden on the population, while reliance on slave labor stifled innovation and created economic stagnation. Environmental challenges, including deforestation and soil degradation, further strained agricultural production, leading to food shortages and social unrest. External threats compounded Rome's internal struggles. The empire faced continuous invasions from barbarian tribes, including the Goths, Vandals, and Huns. These incursions exposed the empire's military vulnerabilities, particularly as it increasingly relied on mercenary forces who lacked loyalty to Rome. The division of the empire into eastern and western halves in 285 CE, intended to make administration more manageable, ultimately weakened its unity. While the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, survived and even thrived for centuries, the Western Roman Empire steadily declined. The sack of Rome by the Visigoths in 410 CE and the deposition of the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, in 476 CE marked the end of Roman rule in the West and the beginning of the Middle Ages. The decline and fall of the Roman Empire have been the subject of intense study and debate for centuries. Historians point to a multitude of factors, including economic instability, political corruption, military overreach, and cultural decay. Yet the lessons of Rome's decline are as important as its rise. It demonstrates the dangers of overexpansion, the consequences of neglecting systemic issues, and the fragility of even the most powerful empires. At its core, the fall of Rome serves as a cautionary tale about the limits of power and the necessity of adaptability and reform. The legacy of Rome endures in countless ways, from its contributions to language, law, and architecture, to its influence on the political and cultural development of Europe and the wider world. The Roman Empire was more than a civilization. It was an idea, a vision of unity, order, and progress that continues to inspire and inform societies today. Its story is not merely a chapter in history, but a mirror reflecting humanity's potential and its vulnerabilities. As we look back on the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, we are reminded of the enduring relevance of history and the lessons it holds for the future.